Hey there, brother. This is Steve Horseman with Good Guys to Great Men. Thank you very much for tuning in again. Today, I want to set the record straight on something. And by trying to do that, I'm sure I will not come close to setting the record straight. But I want to talk about a topic that gets a lot of attention in the replies to our emails and in our communities, in our group conversations. It's a very common theme. And it has to do with the fact that we first attract you into the community sometimes as a reader, a video watcher, even coming to our retreats, because there is a pain point men have, like being rejected, having a sexless marriage, feeling like you're an unhappy marriage. Those kind of pain points for men are what cause us to walk into the emergency room door of Good Guys to Great Men. I often say that most of us guys won't see a doctor or go to the hospital until we're slipping in a pool of our own blood. I know that's gory, but when it comes to the idea that you're living in a horribly unhappy, disconnected, sexless marriage without affection or care, that is one of the biggest pain points for men. It's like this is one of the biggest things we dream about, is being in a secure, happy, connected, loving, affectionate, sexual relationship. We dream about this. We want to have that. We work our asses off for this. We try so hard to do it. Eventually, you'll end up watching some video with some dumb guy like me telling you how to do it. Here's a problem, though. When we start talking about how do you improve your marriage, how do you improve your sex life? How do you get over feeling rejected when somebody doesn't want to have sex with you or give you affection? We always turn toward you. We always say this is an inside job. We always say you have to put your oxygen mask on first before you put anybody else's on. And after a while of us telling you that this is an inside job and you have to take care of your side of the street, when we do that, we get responses like, "You're putting an awful lot on men, aren't you? Why don't you hold women more accountable? When are you going to hold women responsible? You guys at Good Guys to Great Men are a bunch of simps because you don't hold women accountable and you think men have all the responsibility." And I'm going, oh man. So this is what I want to set the record straight about. We do write about the idea when a man, I'm going to read the words off my last email, when a man feels a molecule of disappointment, frustration, resentment, anger, judgment, fear, sadness, or entitlement, if he smells of any of those negative emotions and negative thoughts, his wife will smell them on him like a fart in an elevator, and she won't want anything to do with him. It's easy to think what we're saying is that you have to be perfect. You have to be absolutely, you've got to be Tom Selleck or George Clooney. You got to be some kind of movie star who has the perfect persona, the perfect looks, and the perfect demeanor and attitude to where she'll always want sex with you. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that every unhappy marriage that is marked by a consistent sense of disconnection, no affection, chronic unhappiness, it has a predictable sense of codependence where you're both trying to get something from each other. And you feel like you're put upon or somehow victimized by the fact that the other person isn't giving something you need. This is one of the most immature and insecure versions of relationship. And the point we're trying to make to guys is not that you suck or that you need to be better or that you're not good enough. We're not just trying to shame you to say that you're a mistake. We're trying to tell you that it's ridiculous for you to think you can have a happy, affectionate, sexual, connected marriage in relationship with a woman if you yourself are not a happy, connected man, if you're not happy within yourself, if you frequently feel senses of frustration and disappointment and anger or entitlement in your relationship, it means you're in a codependent, immature, and insecure relationship. And the only way to get out of a relationship that has those emotions in there is for at least one of you, and we always pick the men, we only work with men, to learn the nature of being a grown-ass man. Good Guys to Great Men is learning that most of us live, and it was me up to my 50th birthday, roughly, where I lived a lot in the skin of a man who didn't understand what insecurity was all about and how it came out of me. How a 50-year-old man could be immature in my opinions in my regard toward women and sexuality and relationship, where I thought I was a victim of things happening to me. If only she would do that. If she only could have been better. I wish she could have done this or could have done that. I wish somebody would have held her accountable to being a better woman. Standing in judgment and fear and anger of other people is the fastest route to making yourself fearful, angry, and unhappy. And this is why we're trying to teach guys, before you start making major decisions about your marriage and about what to do, should I stay, should I go, should I escalate this, should I confront her, should I give her an ultimatum, whatever you're thinking, before you do any of that, you have to find a place that is so secure and mature within yourself. It's being a grown-ass man, and I hate to put it that way, but I'm talking to myself. I know what it's like to have the emotions of a 14-year-old boy sometimes, when you wake up in the morning and you've got that raging passion going on down below, and you haven't been touched for a while, and all of a sudden the stories go into some kind of juvenile story of what you're not getting, what you deserve more of, and what you really should have, what marriage should be. There's all kinds of stories that happen. So what we do in this community is try to laugh at that moment where all of a sudden we downgrade ourselves into the mind and body of a 14-year-old boy. Insecure, immature, codependent. We become victimized. Everything outside of us is making us feel something inside. And what we want most for you is to take a breath. And I'm done with the stormy part of this relationship. I want all of us to take a collective breath and go, wow, wow. We do this to ourselves, don't we? You can have a chronic daily sense of happiness and contentment all by yourself. And the problem is, if you don't have a chronic daily sense of contentment, I'm not talking about joy and happiness and, daily sex and BJs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you having a sense of well-being and swagger and a sense of peacefulness in yourself and your body, excuse me. If you don't have that, and instead you have almost a chronic daily sense of darkness, foreboding a bad day, predicting that she's going to do something that displeases you, if you have that, you are going to smell like a fart in an elevator. And that guy really doesn't have anything good happening in his life. Not at his work, not with his kids, not in his marriage, right? So the goal is put your oxygen mask on first. Become a happy man. Become a man who understands that passion and joy and motivation, ambition, and that just the daily chronic sense of contentment has to come from within you before you start trying to initiate deeper levels of affection and sexuality with your woman. Job one is you. Do first things first. That's the first habit of highly effective people. That's what I want to say today. Reply to this video if you want to get into an argument about this. We can talk more about what's really going on with you on a longer call. If you think maybe anxiety or depression or something is really hampering you, we probably need to talk about that too, so you can really feel like you become the master of your domain and that you actually have agency over your future and your daily chronic sense of well-being. Thanks a lot, brother. Take care.